Hello friends, James Stephenson back with another episode of Breakfast with Loki, which we'll get to in just a minute. And are short sellers, evil short sellers, manipulating Tesla's stock price and driving it down using illegal tactics? I'll get to that in just a minute. First, let's feed Loki his breakfast. You can see Loki there is expectantly waiting for his breakfast. I'm going to go ahead and move this camera first, so it'll see, so you'll be able to see Loki run and get his food. There you go, buddy. There's your breakfast. Good boy. Alright, let's keep Loki in the frame if we can. There he is, eating breakfast. So, you can keep an eye on Loki. When I share my desktop, he is still right here underneath me in the Loki cam. And maybe I'll try and frame this a little bit better. There he is, eating breakfast. And you can see on my screen, I was tagged by Bill Flatley, whose handle is I See You Free Speech, asking for my thoughts and Gary Black's and JPR 007's on a tweet from Farzad Misbahi, friend of the show. Let's click through here. There's some shady stuff going on with shorting, especially related to Tesla. Well, yeah, I agree with that. That's been true for a long time. Rah999 has dug into it and shared some pretty eye-opening stuff on our weekly community forum. Link will send you directly to the timestamp. So it's about 20 or so minutes in to this very long video from Farzad. He does a lot of great long-form content, really diving into topics with multiple guests. Loki, did you finish your food already? That was amazing. All right, let me move this back up again, and we'll feed you your reward. Here is your milk bone, buddy. Yes, good boy. All right, and he's going to spend the rest of his video in bed. So I'll just frame that up for you. Sorry I have to do so much framing up of Loki. But he's a dog on the move. He's got places to go and things to do. Okay, so if you click this link, it'll show you that video. I'm not going to play you that video during this video because that would be videoception, too many videos. What I will do is recap what I remember. I only watched the video once. So I think what Rah999, huge Springsteen fan, relayed is that there's a cabal of evil short sellers. I'm overstating that. He did not say it that way. I'm sorry. Who are illegally shorting Tesla shares overseas, and they're forcing the stock price down to lower levels than it would otherwise be trading at, and they're doing it on purpose. And that it's mean and illegal, and that they never cover when the companies they're shorting go bankrupt, and thereby they avoid paying taxes because there was no gain, because their position is still open, but they have the cash. Because when you sell shares short, you take the cash up front, and then when you cover your short position, you pay it back. But why would you pay it back if the stock were trading at zero? Because doing that means the gain is the entire amount, and then you have to pay taxes on it. So that's the point that he was going to make. And lots of other points that I didn't get to. So watch the video if you're interested in seeing. There was another example from MMTB. I don't know. I probably got that ticker wrong going from memory. But I would say I don't have great insight into the specific allegations that were made, but what I do have is a lot of experience dealing with short sellers on Twitter, and a little bit of an education that I got from Ehor S3, who I follow on Twitter, It does a good job explaining stuff like rehypothecation of shares, which is a big word that just means the same shares of a company can get shorted more than one time. There's actually no limit to how many times one share can be sold short again, which is scary stuff. And I do agree with the point that regulators should not protect short sellers. Regulators should let short sellers get their faces ripped off making dumb bets against companies, especially if they're involved in short and distort scams where a bunch of short sellers will attack the same company, usually a pretty small company, and put out FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, rumors about that company's solvency, and can actually cause a company to go through financial distress that was not in financial distress by shorting their share price down. So the company won't be able to the company won't be able to make as much, to raise as much cash selling equity if their share price has gone down by a lot. And maybe if their share price gets into a lot of trouble and people believe a lot of the FUD, they won't be able to get attractive rates on borrowing money either. So they can put a company into a cash crunch that wasn't really in one before by driving the share price down enough and creating enough negative news environment around a stock, which we saw with Tesla for many years. Right, Tesla is in a really strong cash position today and has a really strong balance sheet at this point with very little debt. So Tesla is out of danger from short seller attacks, but the share price can still get attacked downward by Citadel or Susquehanna or other market makers who have huge, billions of dollars worth of assets. And, anybody else who wants to short stock can drive the price down by shorting the stock. What you're doing is you're selling shares you don't own, and that has the effect of driving the price down. And people can do that opportunistically if they think that longs are over-margined into a position or in danger of being margin called. They can sell the company short in volume, trying to drive that price down below the point where margin calls go out, and then the price goes down further, and they profit from that, right? So what I will say is it's not illegal to rehypothecate shares. That's totally legit. There are plenty of legal ways for short sellers to drive down the price of a stock without having to believe in ghost stories about illegal activity from short sellers. There's unfortunately lots of very legal ways for short sellers to drive stock prices down on a temporary basis. Now, on a long-term basis, if demand for a stock is high enough, the short sellers will not be able to hold back the price action indefinitely. Eventually, they will run out of money. And if enough people want to buy the stock price will go back up again. But in the over short periods of time, they can be effective in driving the stock price down. So that is my moderate, not sensational take on the video for those of you who wanted that video. And we'll check back in with Loki, whose ears got cut off by this video. Sorry. I tried to put a black background behind him so that we'd be able to see him better. But that is this video, and with that I will outro and say if you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, why not go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to get alerted when I post fresh content. Thank you to everyone who supports me through Patreon or by joining my YouTube channel. Of course, that's optional. And all my videos are posted for free, but if you feel like supporting me, you can do that, as Kathy Kitchler and Halter Ferguson Financial did at the highest tier, the executive producer tier. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.